You're listening to Saturday Morning Media. And now, back to our show. Elf Centered is made possible by the Saturday Morning Media Patreon patrons. To support this show and hear new episodes before anyone else, become a patron. Head on over to patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media for more information. And thank you for your support. Over with a feather. I am so excited about this announcement. I can't, it was beyond whatever my wildest dreams were. And I know you guys are excited about it.
Yes. We've been on pins and needles since he's...
I know, but when Santa stepped out, weren't you guys, weren't you just flabbergasted? I'm still trying to process the information that was given out.
Because I was saying, last month I was saying that I was nervous because there was a strange energy that it seemed like it could be a bad thing. Yeah. But it's obviously not a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Elf Centered, everybody. My name is Gavin.
I'm Beatrice.
I'm Gary.
And, of course, you have all heard the news. Santa Claus is reopening Santaland, the North Pole's premier amusement park.
Woo-hoo!
I never thought I would see I have fond memories as a kid of going to Santaland and riding all the attractions at Santaland. And then I was so depressed when, about 50 years ago, it got shut down. Mm-hmm. And there was
For safety violations,
yeah. And there was a couple of accidents, maybe more than should have been. And, certainly thinking good thoughts for those people and those families and all those things, thoughts and prayers. But when Santa came out and said, it has been too long, we're reopening Santaland, with new attractions, I cannot believe it. I am so excited.
And we know that you love amusement parks.
I do. It is my favorite thing.
Yeah, when the Ferris wheel with the dancers was opened, you were there first. You were the first one on the Ferris wheel.
I was very, because we haven't had anything like this in over 50 years because it's all been, because Santaland has been shuttered. And I was just so excited. And it's funny because I remember going there as a kid, but my memories are just kind of faint enough where it's I don't, I kind of remember things. And then I look on ElfTube, people have old home movies of there, and I love it. And I downloaded all the old music from all those, from Santaland and all the different areas. But
I can still taste the cotton candy.
Yeah.
That's a very distinct taste.
Yeah. Well, it was magical because you're at this place having this great thing, and then you get this cotton candy on top. I'm so excited. I'm sorry if I can barely sit down, but it's crazy.
I know. I was wondering why you were standing up this whole time.
I'm so excited about this. I remember when the one distinct memory I have is the log flume. Because I love a good log flume, and that log flume was so great. And what was amazing about it was, as you were going through the mountain, before the big fall, before the log, the drop, all the animatronics of the elves hardworking. And I always thought because we're elves, and I always saw myself in those elves, that's us doing our job.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then to have a big drop at the end of it, the big, surprise.
Yeah.
And the fact that the what I loved about it was that it was so, always so cold when you were sitting in your little log seat strapped in. Mm-hmm. But the water was warm. Obviously, they had to heat the water.
Right.
Otherwise, it would just freeze
up. Right.
Because, of where we are. And so, you'd get that warm spray on your face and you'd be shivery and cold, but then you'd get the warm spray as you went through. Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, I remember when my mom went on that and she was wearing black, and when the spray came on, it was warm, and then I think later that day she noticed that she had white spots on her black top because they had to put so much chlorine in the and antifreeze type substances in there at that time. They have new stuff now.
Oh yeah, don't drink that water. Don't drink it back in those days. I think that was part of the safety violations. Don't drink that water.
Well, because they correct me if I'm wrong, but it always smelled like peppermint to me. Yeah. So I think they flavored that. They wanted the smell in the air.
Right.
Yeah, but, little children.
Yeah.
Just,
And it's warm.
Drinking that.
Right. I remember, yeah.
Yeah, the scrambler. Remember the scrambler? You guys sit in the scrambler and then it spins you around. You didn't like the scrambler?
I like it, but I also like keeping my lunch in my stomach.
Yeah, well.
I'm not a fan of the scary, like the
haunted.
I heard
the haunted workshop.
No, I like the haunted workshop. I like that kind of scary. What I don't like,
thrilling, dangerous.
Well, I don't like the rides. If there's going to be any roller coasters,
like a loop or something like that.
I don't like those.
Well, I heard that it's going to be called Reindeer's Flight, and it is like you're flying with the reindeers. And I heard that it's also early, like, all the websites I go to for theme park news are like going nuts. And they're saying it's early, but one of the new rides, Reindeer's Flight, and they say that it's going to have 2 loops and a corkscrew in it. So you might not like that. But they also said it's going to be one of those VR rides. So you put on the virtual reality goggles. You're on a roller coaster, but you put on the goggles so you see like Santa's flight.
Oh, wow.
So you're flying over, but you're on just regular tracks and experiencing physical movement. But then you're also.
But then when you look down, like you can look anywhere, and you look down, and it's like, oh, there's
Switzerland.
There's Switzerland, right? Yeah, there's Africa, whatever.
Right.
You see it all, and of course it's very fast because it's the reindeer. But
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I have my own news.
Oh.
To do with the theme park.
What?
Yeah, I've been. I can hardly. I mean. It's been really hard for me to not just come over to your huts and tell you.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Before you give this announcement, did you know about this theme park before this announcement today?
No, I did not.
Okay,
no,
so this is something... Okay.
I didn't. I did have an interesting visit from Santa that I couldn't... He was very cagey.
Yeah.
So let me tell you the announcement, and then I'll tell you what Santa was like.
I can't wait.
And he gave me permission. He texted me earlier and said that I had permission to announce this over the air. Guess whose signature dessert is going to be the featured snack of Santaland?
Congratulations, Hortense. Hortense, congratulations. She's got her snack.
No, not Hortense, me.
I'm sorry. Yeah. You're Scotcheroo. I thought it was Hortense.
No.
Because I was like, she's helping the mayor. What is she doing baking again?
My Scotcheroos are going to be the signature snack of Santaland. Yeah. Thank you.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So one night I was home alone. Obviously, I was home alone. And I hear a knock on the door, and I thought maybe it was you, Gary, because you had said you were going to...
I got to move your couch back.
Yeah, move my couch back. And it was Santa. And I could see that Pretzel was waiting in Santa's special, vehicle that he...
Right.
That I guess Pretzel's now his personal driver. I don't know. Anyway, that was kind of weird. I still feel a little weird about Pretzel.
Well, there's a lot to...
First of all, the name. But anyway, Go ahead. Continue.
So Santa came in, and he was, and I was like, why is Santa at my house? And I wish I had noticed because I couldn't clean or dust. And, I had various of my collections because you know how I collect
your
things.
Flowers.
Right.
And
those were all over the place. But he came in, and he was kind of walking around, and he had his hands behind his back, and he was ho-ho-hoing and looking at stuff. And he asked me if I had any Scotcheroos. Fresh Scotcheroos, and I just happened to make a batch that I was bringing over for your birthday.
Thank you.
Yes.
That was such a fun time.
Yeah, that was a great party.
Yeah, sorry I missed it.
It's okay.
Well, I had to meet with the North Pole's FBI.
Oh, right.
This is about Vorty?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
No more said.
So I gave him a Scotcheroo, and he was asking me all these questions. He said, well, I won't go as far as to ask you for the recipe. But, how many can you bake, and how long does it take, and what's the most you've ever made? And I thought it was very weird. And then he left. And I, of course, packaged some up for him to take to Mrs. Claus, and that was it. And then it wasn't until the announcement of Santaland that then
he reached out to
to me and told you why. Told me why he.
Wow! Congratulations.
Yeah, because apparently they're Santa's favorite.
Well, and I think that you might even get to retire. Your full-time job will be baking these Scotcheroos because at theme parks they jack up the prices of things, and you could be making some serious elf coin.
Yeah, how are you gonna do that? I mean, you don't want to give away the recipe.
Well, no, I'm not going to give away the recipe, and so I'm going to have to make them all, or get really trusted. I mean, if I could get your penguins enlisted in making them, although actually your penguins can't be trusted, and I'm allergic. What am I thinking?
Well, it's going to be
we'll
a big
work it
job.
out.
It's going to be a big job. And also, he was saying he wants people to be able to take, souvenir packages, visitors who come, if the Easter Bunny comes, or we get visitors from out of town.
Right.
He wants them to be able to take home Santaland Scotcheroos. But I don't know if this is going to release me from the work program. I mean, am I still going to get an assignment?
I think this would be your new assignment, I would assume. I mean, because the theme park's not open until next year anyway.
Right.
True.
Right.
True.
So
maybe that will be. Yeah, maybe your job is the only one that's really set.
But they're building a full-size facility kitchen, because Scotcheroos aren't going to be the only things sold at.
Right.
Because there's going to be savory things and
right.
the cotton candy and the hot dogs and things. So.
Right, the Edelweiss and the funnel.
Funnel cakes.
This is the pound cake, funnel cake, and the pizza.
And hot cocoa.
Yeah.
I hear they're going to have funnel cakes and they're going to have fennel as well. So
fennel cakes.
You can get fennel and funnel.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Not a big fan of fennel.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
You don't like licorice?
I like licorice, but I don't really care for fennel.
It's
a weird theme park food.
It is. It is weird.
Well, some people have that flavor. We got elves from all over the world.
That's right.
That's true.
That's true. Well, and I think we're going to have even more elves up here because
they're going to have to staff
they're going to have to staff the theme park. I mean, I hope I get a theme park job. I hope there's like a seniority. It's like if you've been here for a while and you've been good at your job and you didn't talk about things you're not supposed to talk about,
right,
that you'll be able to get a job at the theme park, because I would love to work at a theme park.
How are we going to... that's going to require a lot of staff.
Right.
A whole new level of staff. I wonder if Mr. Barrow is going to be in charge of that.
Well,
also, question.
Yeah.
The theme park is obviously going to be elf-sized.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For...
Right.
I think...
Yeah, if I'm too short to go on Ranger's Flight, someone's going to pay for it because I got to go on that ride. It sounds amazing.
Obviously people from outside can't come.
Well, but I think that, I mean, you're talking about the Easter Bunny, you're talking about, I'm sure Krampus would be able to ride, and Mrs. Claus, Mrs. Claus and Mr. Claus, I'm sure Santa Claus would want to ride things. So I'm sure it's available for everybody. I just hope that there's no height restrictions that bar us from writing things. True. I don't want to be stuck on the carousel.
Yeah, and there is some magic elements to it.
You're right.
Obviously,
you're right.
Santa can't. He gets down those chimneys. We know how he gets down. It's like that's surprise to us.
True.
But
that's a good point.
So there's misters. There's things that can alter size of people easily. So
yeah,
I don't think we should worry about that. But it is it's going to be a new technology.
I'm excited for the new technology advancements. I'm excited for Ranger's Flight. I think that does sound like a fun ride. I just hope everything isn't screens. Like, as I said, I loved that log ride where I saw the animatronic elves working in the shop. And I hope that some of that remains.
Well, a big trend that's going on right now, and it has been, I'd say since 2017, nostalgia is the thing that's in, right? Mm-hmm. We're seeing a lot of TV shows that are really, Stranger Things, huge fan.
Right.
Huge fan. That is absolutely triggering the nostalgia button in everybody, right? So I think for nostalgia, if nostalgia is the thing that everyone's marketing on, Santa would be really smart to harken back to the log ride, to kind of tug on our nostalgia.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I think there's going to be there's new stage shows they're going to be or there's the new so there's stage shows and they're trying to tap into that nostalgia and I know there's going to be a Golden Girls show.
Really?
Yep. I heard about it, and they're going to
a musical?
Yep. And all the original cast, their offspring are going to be playing the parts.
Oh, wow.
So at least
Wow,
for the
that's-
first couple months, and then they'll recap. They can't establish.
Right, and that brings up another thing because of course, I mean the hallmark of Santaland was you got to go meet Santa any time of the year. You go sit on his lap, and now of course it wasn't Santa,
Right.
It was a helper.
An
It was
affiliate.
Santa, but I heard that with it reopening, and he's this is the rumor on the website that I heard that sometimes it will be Santa.
Ooh.
Like you won't know until you get in there, and it may actually be Santa.
Wow.
So it won't be like an animatronic. Like sometimes maybe it'll be.
No, it'll be
wonder if
somebody
they-
in a Santa suit,
There
like
will
one of his
be-
helpers, quote
Right.
unquote helpers that go out through the world and sit in malls and things like that.
Yeah,
and
we've
help
seen
people.
we've seen those people come up and audition. I
Right.
mean, those auditions every year are huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've never seen such a casting call.
Man, we should go to that one time. Go on a go and like do a on the spot kind of reporting,
like a remote recording.
yeah,
that would be
reporting
really
at
good.
the
Santa
Santa
audition.
auditions,
That would
Yeah.
be good.
because they are.
And the elf auditions too, because wherever those Santas go throughout the world, they always have elves with them.
Yeah.
Yep, true.
So the elf auditions as well.
Well, I am so excited.
Oh,
I've
you're
been
radiant. Yes.
this whole month I've been going crazy, right? Like
radiant.
it's like Thanksgiving. Forget Thanksgiving. When is Santaland opening?
Right.
Like I can't
boy.
wait. Oh man, the websites like the speculation is so we know confirmed rides, sort of confirmed, I guess. These are not 100, but from people in the know, Reindeer's Flight, which is the VR roller coaster, Haunted Workshop, which is going to be like a spooky haunted, which that may give me nightmares. I don't know. I'm a little depending on if they go like silly spooky or if they go like scary. Like this is going to terrify you.
Gavin, seriously, all they have to do is recreate the actual workshop, and that will
That's
scare
very
the pants
true.
off all
Very
of us.
true.
Truth.
Yeah.
I guess recreate that room in the hotel that I walked into where that ghost was in.
Right.
That scared me enough.
Well, if that ghost needs a job, we know where he.
I mean,
That's true.
an animatronic Mr. Barrow. Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah,
thumping his clipboard.
We need to move on because that's
Okay.
very frightening. We have the Golden Girls show.
Yeah.
It's coming out. I hope they bring back the log flume. I mean, the mountain is still there. It hasn't been used in, since it's shut down. But I'm hoping that they just refurbish it. And I hope the scrambler comes back. Of course, the carousel will be there with the reindeer instead of horses. I'm just excited. I can't wait. I hope there is one of my favorite things is animatronic shows. So you're talking about the Golden Girls show, but I hope that there's an animatronic show like Santa's Funtime Jubilee or something like that. And
Yeah, because
that
that's
would be
part of the
fun.
fun is to see the technology and how lifelike it is, and how it's so much. That's part of the joy I find in those kind of things. It's great to have real actor people doing it.
Right.
It's also kind of fun to see how that they can make things come alive
Yeah.
electronically and with.
Woo, big change is coming.
I'm excited. Well, the forecast shows us that we're going to have snow tonight, snow tomorrow, snow into the next weekend. It's looking like pretty much all of December there's going to be some snow. So as we're wrapping up the job for the big push towards Christmas, there's going to be some snow. But at least we have some sunshine to look forward to
That's right.
in the future of Santaland reopening. But this is amazing. Thank you so much for tuning into Elf Centered. My name is Gavin.
I'm Beatrice.
I'm Gary.
And we will talk to you next time. What ride do you like out of those rides? What ride would you run to first?
If they recreate the log
flume. Yeah.
the log flume.
I heard that I used to love Mrs. Claus's sack scrambler. She would go when you get into the bag, and it would.
This episode of Elf Centered was completely improvised by Jayne Entwistle, Chris Sheets, and Grant Baciocco. Music for this episode by Kevin MacLeod. This show is a production of Saturday Morning Media and made possible by the Saturday Morning Media Patreon patrons who've gone to patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media and set up a monthly pledge for as little as $1 a month. Huge thanks to Shay Stewart, Mert Lafferty, Jeff Peterson, Dale Gadania, Stephen Staver, Jackie Klimo, Melissa Crawford, Dave Slusher of the Evil Genius Chronicles, Mike Conflin, Dorothy Baciocco, John D., Kathy Crawford, Brian Greer, Carrie Whitney, Chuck Tomasi from the Technorama Podcast, Chris Foster, Stephen Ing, Clinton of ComedyForecast.com, Vicky DeVries, Dave Rise, Mike Wabshall, Twitter user Butts and Gear, aka Wildcat, Eve Cunning, Mike Hamilton, Gaston Moreno, Reed Loveland, Ivan Asquith, Vanessa Whitney, Peggy Etra, Kristen Hogan of Squid Friends, David Akers, Zoe Palladino, Ellen Multari, Christopher Harris, Rachel Jackson of Vox Fabuli Puppets, Carolyn Weisner, John Petty, Rachel Hansen, Darcy Prevost, Fernando Torres, Ron McAdams, Pearly Q Magic, Jason Domer, Lee Barrett, Casino Skunk, The Misty Minute, Peter Capesser, Night Gig Studios, Joelle Recht for Tig, Adrian Rose Leonard, Earth to John Francis, RJ, Ginger J. Fitz, Megapodtastic, Paul Brunel, Jamie Hitchcock, Catherine Hannaford, Alan Gratz, Rachel Gibbous, John R. Donald, Jude Major, Miss Maudie and her buddies, Molly Smith, Phil Goodman, Emma Buntrock Muller, Jennifer Ballier, Nate Beagle, David Packman, The Trivia Puppet Company, and Annette Mateo of Puppetlandia. If you'd like to support this show and the other fun content from Saturday Morning Media, become a patron. Head on over to patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media and set up your monthly pledge today. You can also tell a friend about the show or leave the show a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much for listening. This show is copyright 2018 Saturday Morning Media, Grant Baciocco, executive producer. All rights reserved. www.SaturdayMorningMedia.com. You've been listening to Saturday Morning Media. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.